Alright guys, here we go with another game. Looks like I'm playing J.U. Steven? I don't know. And he is 1646, a little bit lower rating than I usually play. Unfortunately, around this time there aren't too many games that go on, so having a little trouble finding a higher rated people to play. So this is kind of a Pierce defense, kind of. Well, no, I don't know. Wait, not a Pierce defense. It's more like a I don't know. It's turning into some sort of King's Indian type setup, but without my pawn on c4, it's a little weird. I'll probably have to look up the name for this opening before I post the video, but it's definitely an interesting opening. He's definitely trying to get a lot of pressure on my d4 pawn. If he plays g takes here, I might be able to play something like knight takes e5, sacrificing a pawn, or sacrificing a knight, because after d takes e5, queen h5 check, he loses his right to castle. However, okay, knight takes e5, he could play knight takes e5, in which case I just play pawn takes e5, and after he recaptures, then I can check him and I don't lose anything. But after pawn takes, queen h5 check, he has a couple options. King f8 could be met with pawn takes pawn, and after bishop takes or knight takes, then I can play bishop c5 check, preferably on knight takes, because then he can't block with the bishop. Or I could also just castle, or play something like I don't know, something simple like, I think it's probably not sound to take on e5 here with the knight, but a lot of times you get a strong attack, because I can even play queen h5 check, and after king f8 or king d7, or king e7, I'm guessing king f8, I could always play bishop takes f5, and keep the pressure on that way. I could also play bishop c4. Bishop c4, he'll be forced to play queen e7. Queen e7. I think I'll just take on f5 to be safe. After bishop takes, he could take on. Okay, pawn takes d4 is interesting. Pawn takes d4, bishop g5. Well, that was mostly expected. I think I'm just going to take, and if he plays knight takes, knight takes, pawn, knight takes, then maybe just knight d7, and castling queenside seems better than castling kingside, because it's not like the f-file is going to open up. However, getting my rook behind the f-pawn would be good, because my f-pawn is the one that's going to be my chance at winning here. Maybe knight takes e5 wasn't the best. That move was a little silly. I think I can just play bishop check, and then f4 to guard everything. And now everything's guarded nice and neat. And then I can play h3 and castles to keep everything under control here. Here, I could probably just castle kingside here. Probably a better choice. He could play b6. My bishop doesn't have too many good squares, and I don't necessarily want to trade it off for this knight if I go bishop d4. because maybe I can use the D file later on for my rooks, but the C file could work equally well. Maybe bishop a3, and then knight d7, a3, those kind of moves. It's not like this pawn structure is going anywhere, because even if he tried to sack on it, I'd take back with check, so maybe I'll have a chance to recoup before I lose the both pawns. But even if I did lose both pawns, I'd still be up a pawn. That's if he sacks 4. But not sure what he's going for with that knight. C's covered. Oh, okay, he's going knight c2. Knight c2 would definitely be annoying. I think I'll survive though. Maybe f3 is definitely better, because that way I'm not on a dark square. And I'm not too worried about trading this off, because the play is going to be here with my f and e pawns. So as long as I can keep those guys on and threaten to move them further and further up the board, I should be okay. So here I'm just going to start pushing my stuff. He's got this nice pin on me, on my knight. I don't know why he did that. That's check. Pretty brutal check. So now let's see. He has the pin. I can't defend it that way. I'm just trying to save my knight here, because if I can save my knight, I'll be in pretty good shape. And now I get to keep my knight on the board, at least for now. If I can get king e2 in, I think I'll be relatively safe. Everything will be nice and guarded, and I'll be able to get out of this pin fairly soon. I think I've consolidated pretty well. I don't know why he thought he was winning my pawn. I'm up a pawn, but my pawn structure is in shambles here. I got doubled A pawns, which is never good, and the rest of my pawns are isolated. So I guess he's pretty much forcing me to trade here. Or it could be worse. I think I'll just play there, and I'll sacrifice one of my A pawns. Well, I think I'm going to have to come up here. If I go back on f1, he's got my king nice and pinned up, which is never good. If he takes my A pawn, just king e4. And now maybe I can get something going on his king, which would be very nice. So now rook here. If he takes a3, I can take c7. Not too bad. And actually I'm threatening to trap his bishop, mostly trap his bishop. And now if I can get my knight in here some way. Oh, he just checkmated himself, which was alright, that was pretty lucky at the end there. He kind of checkmated himself, but I think after he sacked the piece back, I was doing okay, despite my poor pawn structure. So, never give up, even if you sack a piece and you have little compensation for it. Like, I had decent compensation, but it wasn't too much. Don't give up, just keep playing on, and maybe you'll win. Especially in Blitz, it's very easy to win in Blitz. So, alright, on to the next game.